What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we are finally doing some fun modifications to the Miata here. So if you guys missed the last video, we did some maintenance items. I fixed the window, we got the headlights working, half of them. We got new brake booster, new master cylinder, new hardline, new PVC valve, I can't say that, new spark plugs, new valve cover gasket. So just a lot of good maintenance items. Now we're on to the actual brakes themselves. So today we're going to be putting in a lot of new and upgraded goodies. So let's go inside and I can show you exactly what we're installing on the Miata here, and I'm very excited to get into it. I'm doing quite a bit. I'm nervous, of course. First time I'll be taking a wheel off and checking out what's behind the wheels here, checking out the old brakes, checking out the bushings and ball joints and all this. I assume a lot of them are going to be bad, but let's find out today in today's video, and I'll show you guys all the upgrades that I got. Okay, so the first thing of the puzzle here is we got some EBC slotted brakes. So we got, for the front and the rear, on all four corners, we got some brand new rotors. I'm very excited about this. I have a weird thing against drilled brakes. I like slotted. I don't like drilled very much for street / track cars. For full track cars, go for it. You need as much cooling as you can. But for track, if you're gonna street it, it's just more likely you're going to crack your rotors. I'm not a huge fan of drill, but slotted, you get extra cooling and you also get to clean your pads. That's mainly what the slots are for, is cleaning your pads. So let's go with that. I'm very excited. To pair with the EBC rotors, we have EBC brake pads. We are using yellow stuff pads, which is more or less their middle of the road pad. And I think it's going to be good for what I'm going to be using it for, which is a light duty kind of track pad, right? But the big reason I got yellow stuff as my brake pad of choice is because I can still daily this pad. It's not going to be extremely aggressive, but it's still going to have a really good bite. And also, these don't take a long time to warm up. You could use these pretty cold, unlike some track pads where you have to put a lot of heat into them to let them work well. These work pretty good cold, which is good for two reasons. For normal city driving, because obviously you can't just heat up your brakes a bunch. If you need to use your brakes around the corner, you need them. Also for autocross, because on autocross you don't get warm-up laps. You don't get to just go out and warm up your brakes. They have to work like that. So having a pad that can warm up insanely fast or be used cold, like these yellow stuff pads, is going to be extremely useful for us. And then lastly, we got steel braided brake lines, which I am just so excited. I've never had steel braided brake lines on a car before. I've had upgraded rotors. I've had slotted rotors on my EJ1 that I had, and upgraded pads from StopTech. I've never had really good set of rotors, really good set of pads, and steel braided lines. So this is looking forward to this. I will be using Redline RL600 fluid when racing season comes around. But for now, since I need to bleed this whole entire system and probably use a lot of fluid, waste a lot of fluid trying to figure stuff out, and there may be a leak somewhere that I might need to find, I don't want to waste $17 brake fluid per 16 fluid ounces. So we're just going to go with some normal brake fluid until we get closer to race season, and I will bleed it for some Redline RL600 with a higher temp. So with that being said, let's get out to the garage and let's at least start off on the front brakes. I would like to at least get the front brakes done tonight. All right, to make this clear, this is not going to be like a tutorial, but I think I'm going to walk you through how to do it, just to help me feel like I'm more confident in doing it. So obviously, we want to loosen up the wheels. Wow, who knew? So I'm going to loosen up both wheels, obviously, before getting it off the ground. And we're going to lift it up by the front subframe. And we're going to put jack stands on both sides and keep the jack under there. Safety first, people. Always remember, safety first. Probably going to find a lot of stuff that I didn't want to see. When do we get in here? Okay, so actually, the car is so low, I can't get the jack to the subframe unless I were to take off the whole bumper, and I'm not doing that. So I decided to jack up the whole right side, and we'll just do the front and the rear on the right side first, and then we'll go to the other side. Problem solving. Wow, these tires are light. Wow-wee. Why did I say wow-wee? The words I say sometimes. Wow-wee. That's a word I said. I'm 80, apparently. All right, let's check it out. First glance. Nothing actually terrible except the coilovers. I see the rear motor mount. I see the motor mount. It looks shot. It's in that hole you can't see. Okay, I see the slave cylinder. That looks old and gross. I see the ball joint. That is old and gross. It actually doesn't look that bad, actually. Like, it's bad, but it's not like the Hondas are worse. And then the top one, again, looks bad, but none of them are like leaking or anything like that. So that's a plus. It's a plus. Double wishbone suspension in the front. That is cool. Spacers. This thing's running spacers. Uh-oh. I didn't even know that. I had no idea that this thing was running spacers. And then the pads look really good, actually. Okay, well, I'm going to assume I'm going to have to take the spacer off, obviously, to get the rotor off, right? Because obviously the guy in the video did not mention spacers. I'm actually shocked that the spring isn't moving around from the rebound. How the tie rods look? Actually not bad. I'm surprised in a way. Like, it's exactly what I expected to see, but at the same time, better. Like, there's no rust in here. Fender's a little messed up. It was rubbing on the fender at one point, but like, it looks good. There's nothing in here that's like, uh-oh. So, all right. I'll get this, probably get the spacer off, and then we'll get this this caliper up, get the pads out, and get the caliper out of the way. Probably take off the brake line while we're at it, and then take off the rotor. Okay, so an update. We got the stock line out. This was the hardest part so far, because this bracket is completely bent. It's not supposed to be bent like this, completely bent. So we had to like unbend it, but we were able to loosen it so we can get our steel braided line on instead of this gross rubber one that had better days. Like, it is bad. We got the actual piston out. We got both of our pins, which is really good. Obviously, we got the spacer off. The pads look really good on this car, like really good. So I'm going to keep these for like if I want to do a lot of daily stuff with it and not like autocross track stuff, hard driving. So I'm keeping these pads so we could throw them on the slotted rotors if I need to. So onward and upward. Stupid. Okay, guys, update. Sorry, I'm not updating as much as I would like, but we're just in the groove at the moment. Me and Dad are just going with it right now. So everything is going well. We obviously got the rear rotor off, the rear caliper off. The brake line came off a lot easier this time. Nothing inherently bad or weird this time, but everything just kind of dirty, otherwise going really well. So time to install the right side here, and I'll meet you on the left side. All right, guys, so we're on the front now. We got the first rotor on, and we are installing the pads. So something interesting that EBC sent with their pads, they sent this 3M tape here. Apparently, you put it on this side of the pad to prevent brake noise, which is smart, but it's interesting. So just to let you know, that's different. It's not as easy as just plop them in. You gotta make a little stencil out of it and put it on the back of the pad. It's interesting. It's looking really good. These look so much better than that. Let's get going. All right, after making the template, or, you know, my dad did anyway. Say hello.
Hello.
Your grease on your head. So we put those on. We did have both pins, so that looks good. It's keeping nice distance between the rotors. I'm just loving the look. Like, the slotted with the yellow pads just look really good.
Why is the dad holding the flashlight?
I don't know. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, after a long night, just figuring out some stuff. You know, we've never done it. You know, we got our steel braided brake line on right there. Got our rotor going on with our yellow stuff pads, looking nice. We got the front. And then the problem child being the rears. We got the rears on as well, looking mighty fine again with the steel braided line. Nice rotor. So we're looking good. But that's going to call it for the night. It's late, so we will resume finishing the brakes tomorrow. Hey guys, how we doing? It's next morning. It's actually daylight out right now, so that's super cool, right? Look at that, dude. Daylight.
So now it's dark.
It's
We're in Alaska, so it's deceiving.
True. It's about 2 a.m. right now. Same day. So we did get this side up. We got both tires off and looking around. So if you guys know, on the first drive, the rear left is leaking, or supposedly, and it definitely was. So it's a bit weird. This thing was completely soaked, but it looks like the caliper is in really good shape. It almost seems like the brake line was leaking, which is good news for us because, well, I have a new steel braided one. So I think we're going to go take a risk here. And we're just going to put the old caliper back on with a new line. Thanks, Dax. And we're just going to try that out. Thankfully, this is the first brake we're going to have to bleed. So if it's turning out that, nope, it's not the line, and it is the caliper, at least it's the first one we're doing. So we'll know immediately. It's not like we're going to get through all the brakes, and then on the last one, we're going to figure it out. So, boom. Perfect. Anyway, so we got on all 4 brakes. Looking really good. So next up now, we're going to be lifting up the passenger side, and we're going to be starting the bleeding process for the brakes. So I'm super excited about that. Okay, boys and girls, first drive. Man, how am I too far away on a Miata? That's sad. We're not doing the full bed-in procedure right now because it's a lot longer than most. It's crazy long. First impressions. Hey, it worked right now. Oh yeah, the clutch is bad. We didn't do that yet. I can't tell.
You have better brakes.
I don't know yet. It feels like it goes farther than I would have suspected it would.
Better brakes than you had though, right?
For sure, yes.
Oh yeah.
But it definitely goes down farther than I would have thought.
Where's the button?
I might as well not do that. Like, it's not to the floor, I'll tell you that. This clutch is so bad. And then my bright side don't work. It still feels soft. I think that's literally an exhaust vibrating on something.
Sounds
Like, it definitely stops better, right? But I don't know, it still feels like there's a lot more travel than there should be in the pedal.
Yeah, the brake pedal needs some adjustment.
Well, we got to use them. Yeah, for example, that felt pretty far. Here, I'll have to try a heel toe and see. Because I almost couldn't heel toe. It's too far. I don't know why. Yeah, it's too far. Like, the brakes work fine, but you have to be, I mean, fucking A, man. There they go. Like, it's far down there before they even decide they want to start working. This clutch is such a high release.
Back to check for any leaks anywhere.
Because I didn't have this air when we were bleeding it. They certainly work better, but you have to press so far down.
You had to before too, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if that brake pedal could be adjusted at all.
Okay, so last time you seen me, it was kind of a grim sight, if I show that in the video. So we got it all bled, and when we bled the car, it turned out really good. Like, everything was feeling mighty good. But the moment I got in the car and started to go, the pedals was very squishy. Like, just as squishy as it was, like, before we did this brake change. So it was really bad. So we brought it back, and we discovered 2 places it's leaking. So that's good. It took a while. So it did take a while to find it. And I do gotta apologize to the last owner if he's watching this. You were right. It hurts to say. I'm sorry. I couldn't really trust you. I didn't know. You gotta do your due diligence. It looked like it was the brake line that was leaking. Everything was so covered down there that I couldn't tell. So first of all, it was leaking from the master cylinder. It was leaking from this one. It looked like it just wasn't quite tight enough. So we do have it on the jacks again. We were running it while on the jacks, pumping the brakes. Because when the car is off, it feels fine. But when the car's on, under vacuum, then you could feel the squishiness. So I was pumping the brakes when the car's on and everything, and it's squishy. So no more fluid out of there. None of the brakes are leaking except for this one. The driver left side, or the driver rear. So the left rear. This is a spare caliper. I'm lucky to have one. Again, thanks to the past owner, because he thought the rear caliper was leaking, and he was right. So it's in here like this, right? This right here, under the handbrake hinge, is where it is leaking. Out of all places. Right here, there is a slight, steady drip. So we found 2 spots. We're going to hopefully fix those things, and hopefully it's solid. What's up, guys? Okay, so it is the next day now. I don't even know where I exactly left off with you guys. I'm pretty sure the last time I was talking to this camera is, after the test drive on the first time. The brakes were still very spongy, so we came in to figure out what is going on, where is it leaking, and we found 2 spots. We found the master cylinder hardline was leaking, and the rear left caliper was leaking. Well, after fixing those, it was still spongy. It's still spongy, still spongy. Going through forums from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, YouTube videos, talking to all my peoples, just couldn't find anything. Because, I mean, we got a new brake booster. It wasn't the brake booster. We got a new master cylinder. It's not the master cylinder. There's no leaks from anywhere. You know, we were trying to figure out if it's an internal leak on a caliper or whatever was going on. It turned out to be the pedal needed to be adjusted. That is it. Okay. So after that, it feels like it's better. I didn't get it on film this last time, sadly, but we do need to break in the brakes. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to a car meet tonight, and we will be driving the Miata the first time, like on the road and everything, to that car meet. And because we're supposed to go about 50 to 100 miles on these brake pads to like just get them adjusted to the rotors and everything. And once they're adjusted to the rotors and everything, you do 8 stops from 80 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour. And like you kind of do that consistently, get the brakes really hot, basically, bed it into about 500 degrees Celsius pretty much. And after that, you're pretty much okay. And then just drive around normally. I'm not going to be doing the track pad break in because we're not going to the track on these for a long time. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm not going to do 80 to 30 just because I don't want to chill. I think I'm going to go 60 to 10. It's still the same amount of miles per hour and we're still moving. We're not stopping. So they should stay cool. And also the shaking that I felt at about over 60 miles an hour is gone. So it was the brake pads and brake rotors that were bad. Maybe it's just covering up that it is the tires, but those will be replaced soon and everything of that nature. So, I mean, it's looking really good, guys. So we're going to be going in and getting these broken in tonight. We're going to get these brakes going. It feels really good. So we got Crimson in there on to work on. It's this Miata weekend, apparently, because after that car's out, this one's going right back in. So with that being said, I'm excited. I know you didn't expect to see me again. You expected to be in the car. Well, I have a confession. I forgot my mics and I forgot my camera. So I'll just give you a little quick rundown. It was nothing super special. It was a lot of just mundane driving until the drive home when we did those 8 really fast stops. And let me tell you, the brakes are feeling absolutely fantastic. There is something we're gonna have to fix, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just where we adjusted the pedal. We need to adjust it somewhere else. But otherwise, it's feeling great. The brakes were great. No brake fluid leaking. No squishy pedal. I mean, it was fantastic. I've never had a car stop as fast as the Miata is stopping. And it's just beautiful because people think, you know, I need to get a big brake kit and everything for like my 116 horsepower when you don't, man. The calipers do just fine. Get some really good pads, get some steel braided lines and a good rotor setup. And it's cheaper than a big brake kit, trust me. I think at some point I would like flying me out as a little big brake kit so I can get Willwood calipers. And it's not because I think these calipers are bad, but it's because the simplicity of swapping out pads from a daily pad to a track pad would be extremely useful. But otherwise, that's gonna do it with this video. Sorry I wasn't as involved. I just didn't want this to be a how to install video when I've never installed it. I didn't want to be a poser saying like, this is how you do this when I've never done it myself. So I feel like that would be a little stupid. So that's what that was about. I really hope you guys enjoyed. We're coming closer and closer to being able to get like a full-on drive video on this thing. It needs quite a bit more stuff done to it. But mainly all the parts are here except it needs new tires. Vibration in the wheel is not gone, it's just at higher speeds now. So it needs new tires, it needs an alignment pretty bad. But we got all the parts, so like it's coming up quick, but it's gonna be special. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for the Miata build and stay rad and peace out, guys.